You guys, get ready for the biggest crypto news in the market right now. Welcome back to Getting Digital with Deja. Alrighty, y'all, let's hop right into it. The SEC is developing a plan right now to be able to trade stocks on the blockchain. They're going to digitalize shares and place them on the blockchain so that you can trade crypto right alongside your stocks. So if you watch my very in-depth video of when I talked about XRP, basically on the XRP ledger, you can like tokenize your house. So you could turn your house into a token, like a digital asset, and then you can like trade it with somebody, right? Well, they're doing the same exact thing with stocks now, okay? And it's not just XRP ledger. No, this is going to be on all crypto exchanges. Well, all approved crypto exchanges like Coinbase, Robinhood, crypto.com, like the really major ones. And I just think this is a game changer. The reason why this is such a game changer, in my opinion, is that it can be traded 24/7. When they tokenize these stocks, it is going to be traded 24 hours on the blockchain. There's no more stock market hours or anything like that because it's going to be on the blockchain, which is open 24 hours, y'all. That's why you can trade crypto at any point in the day. So there's no more market close and all the big institutions get to trade and we don't get to make any money while they're trading, and they just move the market in whatever direction they want, and then by the time that we get into the market, we have to deal with whatever direction they push the market in. No, and no again. Like, have y'all ever been inside of a trade and then you held it overnight and then you're watching the market during aftermarket hours and it's going in the complete opposite direction that you want it to, and then when it opens, it's literally opening in the complete opposite direction that you wanted it to, but you couldn't do anything about it? You couldn't close that trade until market opens, so you just literally have to watch yourself lose money. It really sucks. It's one of the biggest forms of market manipulation, in my opinion, and it's just like, we don't gotta deal with that no more. All right, enough of that. We're gonna move on to the next really big pro of them tokenizing stocks, and that is that you will have so much more exposure. These tokenized stocks, you can trade worldwide. So you ever tried to trade on like some Hong Kong like stock or Chinese stock or something like that, and you can't because it has to be traded on a specific like brokerage or exchange within that country? That won't be a thing anymore. It won't be a thing anymore because you can literally trade wherever because it's on the blockchain, and you don't have to have a specific brokerage to be able to trade. So remember, blockchain is worldwide. It's not just an American thing, it's literally worldwide. So you don't have to have a brokerage within that region to trade that stock because it's a tokenized stock. It's a digital asset that's placed on the blockchain, and anything that's placed on the blockchain is literally like free game. Like, everybody has exposure to it. All right, let's go to the next pro, okay? With tokenized shares, you can buy whatever fractional size of a stock that you want. Even if you don't necessarily want to trade the stock, if you just want to buy a stock and hold it, but you can't afford an entire Nvidia stock of $200 something. Wait, I think it's like at 180 right now. But whatever, it's expensive. If you don't want to pay a full 180, you can like buy just a fractional share of it. And I know that is kind of possible right now on some brokerages, but once this is tokenized, it's going to be possible for everybody. Now this leads me into my next pro. Because you can buy these smaller fractional sizes of stocks and things like that, and you can buy smaller tradable units, there's going to be way more liquidity within the market. People who don't really have money are going to now be able to really trade stocks for real, and it won't be like penny stocks, because right now, even if you don't have a lot of money, you can trade penny stocks. But the thing about penny stocks is they're not that liquid. They're they don't have as much regulations and stuff on them as far as like the information that's given to the public about these penny stocks. So it's like really a risky game, and it's hard to make money on penny stocks, in my opinion, because they don't really move that much, But imagine trading something like Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla with just a fractional little bit of money. A little bit of money. Everybody's going to be doing it. So the market is going to be booming. It's going to be booming, baby, like Metro. Metro booming. If you ever watched this video, remember that I shouted you out right now. All right. Here's another pro, you guys. I know you guys are so tired of all these pros, but I'm just gonna keep them coming. All right. So, you guys, if you know anything about XRP to the moon, you know that it's literally like an intermediary for like payments in settlements and stuff like that. So it's like instead of the bank being the middleman of you and somebody else like trading money or trading whatever, XRP would handle that. All right. Which means lower transaction costs because the transaction cost would be like less than a penny. So when these stocks are tokenized, it's going to be on the blockchain, and the banks and institutions, it's going to cut out majority of their fees. I'm not saying it's going to cut out all of their fees because you know the banks still got to get their money somehow. I don't know how they're going to get it, but they're going to get it somehow. But it's going to cut out majority of the fees. So lower transaction costs, faster instantaneous settlement times, more liquidity inside of the market, more access globally to all kinds of stocks no matter what region you're in. Then also on top of that, you can fractionally own these stocks, and you can also hold them in the same cold wallet or ledger as your crypto. This is monumental, okay? I'm whispering because like if everybody finds out about this, if everybody finds out about this, it's gonna be more money in the market. What am I whispering for? It's gonna literally be more money in the market because everybody's gonna be trying to trade. All right, and it's gonna be people who don't really know how to trade who's gonna be losing their money. But you know, trading in the stock market is literally like trading in the options market is like a zero-sum game. So one person in that trade is going to make money, the other person is going to lose money. You know, they're both not going to make money unless you have like a different kind of trading process going on. But for the original regular stock trading, there's a buyer and there's a seller. Somebody's going to put out some money, somebody's going to get some money. That's just how it works. It's a zero-sum market. So it's just like if there's a lot of losers, there are going to be a lot of winners. In order for someone to lose, someone has to win. And if people go into the market not knowing what they're doing, not practicing, not researching, not practicing their strategies and critiquing themselves and having money risk management, they're going to lose. That's going to be a lot of losers. And then that's going to be a lot of winners. Every loss has to match a win because it's a zero-sum market. Do you get what I'm saying? So all of this that I just mentioned about them tokenizing stocks is a part of Project Crypto, which is basically SEC's plan to basically modernize the regulations on crypto, the blockchain, stocks, and things like that to where it's more accessible and easier for traders and investors. And so they came out with this in July of 2025, I believe. And so they just been recently and they said it themselves that they want it to be a swift and quick process of them moving stocks onto the blockchain. So this month literally is like they're passing new regulations to be able to get this into place. So I really completely believe by like early to mid 2026, stocks are going to be on the blockchain. It's going to be on the blockchain. And you guys, I do want to mention, if you're not familiar with what the blockchain is, how it works, or what its function even is, I really believe that you have to educate yourself on the blockchain. I also have a video on it. Go watch it. I explain everything about the blockchain because we are moving into a digitalized world rapidly. And I'm not just talking about AI, I'm talking about your money. We're moving into a digitalized world to where everything is going to be placed on the blockchain. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. People don't like digital IDs, but look, they're getting them. People are not going to like digitalized money, but we're going to get it. Okay? So it's inevitable. And if you teach yourself about the blockchain, at least you can be one step ahead. I'm not saying, oh, go invest and buy stuff on the blockchain, whatever, because you might not know what you're doing. You know, I'm not saying to do that, but get familiar with it and study it. Because in a minute, we're not going to have these bank accounts. It's going to be on blockchain. And if you don't know what blockchain is or how it works, you're going to be so behind. And who wants to be behind in the money race? I know you don't want to be behind in the money race, because if you truly wanted to be behind in the money race, you would not be watching this video right now. Let's be honest. You want to be ahead of the curve. You want to learn some stuff, which is why you're listening to me talk. So, study the blockchain. Now, let's talk about the cons when it comes to tokenizing these stocks. I mean, there's so many pros, but the cons they're kind of significant as well, if you ask me. So, you have to remember, them tokenizing these stocks is going to be kind of like mimicking the crypto market, which means it's going to be decentralized. Blockchain is decentralized, which means there's less regulations and there's less protections for investors, which is like a really big critique, because when you have brokerages and all these exchanges and things like that, and these institutions, they are creating regulations and rules and restrictions and things like that for the stock market. But once it goes to blockchain, I mean, those regulations and stuff won't be applicable. They won't be applicable. And also, transactions on the blockchain are irreversible. So there's no going back, there's no like changing anything. I mean, it's permanent and it's logged onto the blockchain. But that could be a con, but it's just like, if I'm buying a stock or something, like, would I necessarily be asking for a refund? I don't know. You know, they listed that as a con. But who's doing that? Another con is that they're still trying to figure out the fundamentals of blockchain as far as like ownership of assets and things like that. So that's another thing to think about. You know, they're still trying to come up with all these regulations and things like that on blockchain and on crypto and tokenization. So it's going to be a revolving process. It's going to be a very long process. So once they tokenize stocks and it is on the blockchain, I mean, the fundamentals of that is probably going to continuously change until they get it right. And who knows how long it's going to take for them to get it right. I mean, the banking systems aren't even right, and we've had those for centuries. So it's just like, so I know that was kind of a lot to digest, but it was all really juicy. Like, it had a lot of flavor, yo. Come on, you can't lie about that. But you guys, I really do want to know what you guys think about this. And I know that I said that, like, to stop trading the stocks and crypto right now because it's just like completely being like taken over by market manipulation. But honestly, that's just the stock and crypto market for you. And if you can trade in it and if you can survive in that like type of environment, then kudos to you, you know? But if you can't, I still recommend you move to futures and forex. Honestly, I recommend that you know all of the markets, because this is the thing about trading. As long as you know the fundamentals and your strategies and stuff like that, you can trade in any market. Literally, you can trade stocks, you can trade crypto, you can trade forex, you can trade futures. As long as you know the fundamentals on those price movements in those charts and how it moves, you can literally trade in any market. Trade news. That's literally what I do. I literally, like, whatever market is having something newsworthy that's like affecting the market and things like that, I'll trade that market. Like, you just, for you to be able to pivot, like being a jack of all trades, like don't just like be a mastermind just for one market. I mean, that works for some people, you know, but I truly believe with the world just changing and everything, you should really know how to trade in all markets. Because look, imagine people who only know how to trade on stock exchanges like NASDAQ and things like that, right? Now they're going to have to learn how to use blockchain and trade in like a crypto-like fashion. But if you already knew about crypto and things like that, it wouldn't be such a big like bridge over. You already know about blockchain, you already know how to use it, you already know how it goes, you already know the regulations and things like that. So let's go. It ain't nothing but a thing. It ain't nothing but a chicken wing, okay? But yeah, that's just my opinion. I really do think that everybody should be versatile in all the markets. Still be very cautious in crypto and stocks, especially with stocks moving onto a blockchain where there's less regulations. But the cool thing is that you'll be able to trade it 24/7. If there is some market manipulation that comes out, like some crazy news or something, you don't have to stay overnight in that trade and just watch you lose your money. You can like close out that trade immediately, which is really freaking cool. So I guess, you know, in my opinion, the pros outweigh the cons. There's still so many cons to crypto, but that is not what we're talking about. not gonna get my YouTube banned, okay? I'm not. But yeah. But that is all I have for you today, guys. And I wanted to remind you that pretty girls can do stocks too. Alright, you guys, I will see you guys next time, and just have a great day. All right, have a great week, have a great weekend, make it count, do something that makes you happy. All right, kisses. But we did forget to acknowledge my nails. They're so cute and demure, you guys. So cute and demure. These are my real nails. I stopped getting acrylic overlay, and now I'm just getting shellac because acrylic is really bad for you, and acrylic is just horrible for your nails. And shellac is also bad because of the UV lights, but I'm just trying to grow my nails and have them nice and strong before I just say goodbye to shellac too. I thought I should include that in the video.